King. WKFK.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
I don't get the whole Anna Nicole Smith thing at all. I watched her work in Naked Gun, and she wasn't even naked in Naked Gun. What the hell's going on? Anna's like a one-tit wonder. That's what I thought. Can you say
Yeah, you can say
There you go.
You can. It's cable.
Oh, good.
But now she's gone.
Now she's gone.
Did you watch?
And guess what? We'll see another one like her. There'll never be another one. Oh, yes, yeah. There'll be another kind of chubby white girl with big. Yes, there'll be one.
The Don and Mike Show.
Oh, Larry King.
Larry.
Our strange road with Larry.
Yep.
There was a time 20 years ago when he would actually cut announcements for our show like this.
I've got a unique dilemma. This is Larry King. I love Don and hate Mike. What do I do with my radio?
He got like 1 million of them for us.
Hi, this is Larry King, and I never listen to Don and Mike because I'm bright, intelligent, lively, and desire information. I go anywhere I can, but not here.
We actually had him as the master of ceremonies. What was it, our 5th anniversary roast?
Yeah, we were roasted.
Oh, hold on. We got to officially rejoin.
Consummate unprofessionals.
Nice.
Don and Mike.
Right. So I think it's pretty well documented that for a long time, when Mike and I were doing the morning show, we would come in and what we would listen to on the way in individually in our cars was Larry King doing his overnight radio show.
His highly rated overnight radio show.
And we would, behind the scenes, goof on him.
Yeah, because that's what we listened to coming in. That's all that was on the radio.
It was like when he was going through the thing with one of his wives, Julie.
Yeah.
Where he would send her like a pound of gummy bears. And remember, he would just, like the 5 to 6 a.m. hour would just be.
Talking about Julie.
It's Larry King Live. I sent her a pound of gummy bears yesterday.
Julie, I've never been more in love than this. Julie, she's wonderful. I just I can't stop talking about it. I'm so in love. And we were, I don't want to say we were obsessed, but we were slightly fixated on Larry for a long time.
You know what?
To the extent where we'd actually go down to where he ate lunch.
Yeah. And also, go give me one. Would you please,
Stalkers,
be a love, and go give me one of those fake Larry King commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Because we, for the longest time, had a good, playful relationship with him.
Yeah, he was amused at our banter. He didn't seem to be offended by it.
He would participate in the show, not on a regular basis, but a couple of times a year.
Right.
And there would be charity functions, and we'd be on the dais, and he'd be on the dais, and we'd all act buddy-buddy and stuff. And then it went south.
And went south very quickly because we just wouldn't stop.
Right. And it started off innocent enough with stuff like this. Oops, I'm sorry.
Hi, this is Larry King. You've seen me on The Tonight Show. You've seen me interviewed by Bob Costas. And you've read my column in the USA Today. Well, now you can buy my new cookbook, Eat It with the King. 200 pages of my favorite recipes, including crab cakes from Duke Zeibert's.
Okay, so there was that. Then there
was the restaurant he used to go to.
There was this.
Hi, this is Larry King, and let me tell you something about myself. I love love. And I'm here to tell you about the Larry King Love at First Sight dating service. If you're a single
when he was
I was
in love,
now you can find the love and companionship you've been searching for with just a simple phone call.
So we had this kidding relationship with him. He wasn't nearly as famous as he is now.
Right.
And he would be on the show and blah, blah, blah. And then it went south. And
we're not really sure why, but we certainly understood why it might have gone south.
We had like a good relationship with him for 5 years. And then all of a sudden, he just started hating us.
Was it Kaia?
No, I don't think it was Kaia. It may have been. We were very amused by people that would crank call his show.
Oh, that.
We got a very big kick out of that. He did not.
Yeah, and
it would be also, we started to play the tapes of his show.
Oh, yeah, we started. At the time, we had only like 1 or 2 tapes. The most famous one was the one about Cooperstown, New York. And we played that, and in the context back in the day, and the 20 years ago, to play a 3.5-minute tape on a morning show of a guy doing a radio show was a little bit too inside for Top 40 radio.
Exactly.
So we did it anyway. He didn't like it. And then, Buzz, you're right. It did reach a point when I remember he called Alan Goodman, who he was friends with, our general manager.
Right. Alan Goodman, who had actually arranged for him to take over our show one day.
Right.
And absolutely destroy us.
The day before the heart attack.
The day before he had his heart attack.
It's been documented. You can doc the tapes.
We might have not taken that as seriously as we should have. We found it. There might have been speculation that we had caused the heart attack.
I know that the next day we had a grand amount of fun on the show.
Yeah.
We wanted to be
Once
known,
we knew he was okay.
We wanted to be known as the guys who gave Larry King the heart attack.
Of course.
And then there was the part about his daughter, because we would always talk about his daughter, Kaia.
And you discovered a book called Daddy Day, Daughter Day.
Daddy Day, Daughter Day. So we had, it was an audio book. We played this thing on the radio. And one day,
just over the years, we've done a million things like that.
And one day I was at Montgomery Mall, Tyson's Corner, whatever it was. Frida and I were out shopping, and a woman, Kaia King, Kaia Zeiger, came up to me and verbally accosted me. And said, you're an awful guy, and your partner's an awful guy, and you do this awful routine about me kissing my dad.
Yeah, that's, that's it.
Now that I'm
that's
thinking
the moment.
Because don't you remember it used to be...
Hi,
and
Kaia.
it was before Daddy Day, Daughter Day.
Yeah.
It was, hi, Kaia, you have a kiss for Daddy?
And we make the tongue sound.
That's all it was.
That's all it was.
That's all we did.
That's all we Anyway.
For some reason, he didn't like it.
He hated our guts. So now...
Yeah.
And then actually he came in one time to be on Gordon Liddy's show, and Rob did this little ambush interview with him.
Where's that tape?
Yeah, I forgot
Where's
about
that one? You got that one too?
We've got lots of Larry.
This was maybe the first audio indication that things had turned, I thought.
And you've also got to remember that while Howard Stern had that guy that called Larry King and all the CNN shows all the time, we would have our guy, the Belcher, or East Coast Bob, call Larry King to mention our names, not so much like Howard did, but because it would really bother Larry King.
Yeah, they'd be direct questions about our show.
Throw him off.
And we'd play those. It was just, we were fascinated by Larry because we just liked his
This
personality.
is another one of your old commercials from way back in the day. Oops, sorry, wrong button.
Hi, this is Larry King, and by now you know that weight loss and fitness are my life.
After the heart
That's
attack.
why I've opened my new fitness studio, Larry's Liposuction. The world's most beautiful people come from near and far to get their fat sucked by the king. With 2 simple visits, I can produce a whole new you as I suck those unsightly fatty bulges from your hips, tummy, and thigh.
Really,
And that was so long ago they called it liposuction.
At one point, we may have had really like 25 of those fake commercials.
Yeah. I love doing them. I really did. I enjoyed them. I still do.
Let me see. What do you got there?
Those I don't think he ever minded.
All right, now, okay, here's when Larry King came into the radio station, WJFK, many years after he decided he hated us. He was going to be on the G. Gordon Liddy show, and we sent Rob in with a tape recorder to say hello.
Hi, Larry. Hi. I'm Rob. I'm with the Don and Mike show, and I was wondering if you had a message for Don and Mike.
Stay healthy, be good, be kind to your neighbors, try to follow the golden rule, and stop this string of robberies. I think it's uncalled for that you haven't been caught. I think paying off the police has been terrible. I think it's inexcusable. And also, I would suggest you marry more.
Hey, Larry, will you sign a book for Gordon?
Of course I will. Here, I'm signing a book.
Here's
for
the
G.
nasty
Gordon Liddy.
publicist.
Outstanding.
Okay, but
what
can
will you
he-
write?
Can you read? This is
Jag
for
off.
Don and Mike.
Huge fans.
I like
Huge fans.
pouncing on him when he walks out.
She doesn't like that. She's
You've never seen me pound.
Anyway, give my best to Don and Mike and remind them of the time I took over their show.
Well, indeed. What's the name of your book, sir?
The name of the book is Future Talk. Larry King, Conversations About Tomorrow. Don and Mike wouldn't read it because it requires intelligence.
Intelligence. Intelligence. That was the start. He was playful, yet but it really was the beginning of a string of always negative comments about us, and we enjoyed them.
Where's the part about you can doctor tapes?
That's a call that he gets to
That's
his
a
show.
call.
The
And
most
also, I
famous
know we
tape.
played it the other day, but the Imus calls, when Imus is on, somebody
Larry.
always calls and asks about us.
Those 2 guys that hate us.
And it's great because Imus is like, oh, Don and Mike?
I don't know if they're on there or not. And they're both silent because they just don't want to talk about us, and they neither one wants to punch out of it.
It's a funny moment.
And it's not because we're famous. Please do not think that is our intent here. We realize we're nobodies.
We're nobodies, but we're known by these guys.
It's great to know that we're nobodies and that Larry King can't just blow past our name
exactly
when it comes up on his show. Here he is. Here he is with Imus.
Let's take a call. Cape, California. Hello.
Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Don Imus. How you doing today? Love your radio show. Can you tell me what happened to Don and Mike in New York City? If they're not on live anymore?
Are they back on? They were taken off for a while. Are they on or out of... Not on the air in New York, Don.
Don and Mike?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whether they're on or not. Well,
Don and Mike are on. They're on in Washington, right? Don and Mike. I think
I think that's where they originated from. Yeah.
Yeah. Las Vegas. Hello.
I love that tape.
Great moment.
Yeah.
Here's another good
I
one.
don't want to talk about them. Yeah.
So this is after we have played a tape that you'll hear in a second of Larry talking about broadcasting for 30 days and nights. We have a tape of him, a 3-minute tape from his radio show that we played on our old morning show over and over again.
We loved it.
Working
and then
overnight too
people
long.
started calling his radio show.
Right.
Falls Church, Virginia. Hello.
Hi, Larry. There's a couple guys here in Washington, Don and Mike, who play a tape of you getting asked about journalism by somebody, and you think he's talking about medical school. Do you remember that?
No.
Do you ever listen? Have you ever heard Don and Mike?
I never get to hear them. They were on the morning. They were on the afternoon. I never get to hear them. We took over their show one day. I went, in fact, the day before the heart attack, we went and took over their program one morning and totally destroyed them. But you could doctor tapes.
And then we found out from a very good source who we will not name at CNN that this tape, the Paint Your Bald Spot tape, is one that really drove him nuts.
Oh, he hated it. He hated it when somebody would insinuate that he was using that hairspray that covered his bald spot.
I just noticed something that in one of your interviews with John Candy, I believe, it looked like...
You know, it's a word that really is overused, but this is really classic.
It is.
Yeah.
This is so great. His response.
People love this.
So great.
The interview, you had less hair than you have today. How do you explain that?
I don't wear a wig, sir.
Paint your bald spot?
What bald spot?
You paint your bald spot?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. My hair grows.
You paint your bald spot?
I don't have a bald spot.
How come you had less hair on the tape?
Maybe my hair grew. Maybe I had a bad haircut that day. By the way, something. What do you care?
Paint your bald spot?
I don't. Do you paint your bald spot?
Paint your bald spot?
I'm sick.
He just in no way did he attempt to move by it or anything like that, or even directly say you're an idiot. He just goes sick.
And now here he is on a TV station in Sacramento being interviewed by Mark S. Allen.
Hey, Larry, there's a syndicated radio show that's huge here in town called the Don and Mike Show. I know they're huge fans of yours. They're coming to town. Could you send us an autographed copy of your book that we could pass on to them?
Wait a minute. You're telling me Don and Mike will read a book about prayer? Okay.
Yeah.
Give them this message.
Okay.
Okay. Tell them both to pray for civility and class.
Ooh.
There's giving God a job, boy.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, right.
You know, he loved ending his interview with that. He thoroughly enjoyed that. That's when it was really getting a little bit more direct. Pray for civility and class.
I urge you to marry more.
Marry more.
And don't listen to stories what they're saying about you. Don't listen.
Stop this string of robberies.
Yeah. Is it any wonder, ladies and gentlemen, that we were so fixated on this man?
No.
Thank God we've broken our addiction with Larry to Larry.
Have you?
I know. Well, Buzz, I'm proud to tell you that we have been back on the air since January 2nd.
I know.
Today is April 17th. Not that I'm keeping track. We have not done Larry to Larry once in calendar year 2007.
Well, I applaud your discipline, but I miss Larry to Larry.
I just want to say I compliment you on that, brother.
Don't play the home game.
Nice job.
How you doing, brother?
This doesn't count, you know. We're talking about Larry to Larry. It's not really doing it.
Kind of does count, though, a little bit.
Well, I got one question for you.
What's that?
What are you going to have for breakfast? Larry King!
Yeah.
So now
and can I say something also?
Sure.
A lot of this, you might say, why were you fixated? Well, we were fixated because we listened to the guy on the way in when we used to do the morning show, but also our personal dealings with Larry Larry is a guy that that has a good, healthy show business ego. So much so that it was fun to make fun of him. That's one of the reasons.
It really would be when we would be somewhere in public with him. You'd be sitting up on a dais, like on a rubber chicken, dinner circuit, and he'd be sitting there, and it'd be Mike on one side of him, me on the other, and he'd go, "Well, boys, they're here to see me. Look at this. Look at this. All this for me. A kid from the Bronx. Look what I did. Look at this."
And we'd take calls about Larry at a baseball game or a hockey game where he would stand. He would stand on the concourse waiting for somebody to recognize him. And it was true.
Yeah,
he
enjoyed that.
It was true. He did that kind of thing.
I don't want to do a break right now because we're on such a good roll. So then once it started to go bad, there was a restaurant he ate at every day in town called Duke Zeibert's Restaurant.
His favorite.
And we had one of Buzz's interns, B.O. Bob Seska.
Right. Bob Seska.
Call up Duke Zeibert's Restaurant and speak to Larry King to ask him what he was having for lunch.
He hated that.
Now,
really hated that.
But because of the FCC rules, we have to beep out Larry King's response.
Right.
And it was not a secret. It was in the newspaper. Every day at 12 noon, Larry King had lunch at the same booth at Duke Zeibert's table in Washington, D.C.
On his radio show, he would give a plug to Duke Zeibert's Restaurant every single night.
All the time.
Because he ate there for free every day.
Right.
So one day we told Bob, call and see what Larry's having for lunch.
You can't use his voice on the air without his permission, so we bleeped that part out, but it's still
You can hear,
amazing...
that he's answering the phone.
You get the gist of it.
Oh.
Here's Bob.
This is great.
B.O. Bob Seska.
Hi, can I speak to Larry King, please? Oh, okay. Could you patch me through to him? It's kind of urgent.
Urgent.
Rob Williamson?
Are you friends?
Well, actually, I'm going to be a guest later on this show.
A little before the cell phone craze.
Here he is. Hear him?
Hello.
Hello, Larry. Yeah. I just called you a few minutes ago. I was just wondering, what are you enjoying today for lunch?
And what he says is, what are you doing?
Why are you doing this?
Don't do this.
Don't do this.
I remember it so clear. Why are you doing this? Don't do this.
Click.
Well, because you say every day on the radio that
you're going to this restaurant.
Going to be at the same restaurant every day at the same time.
And didn't we eat at that restaurant one time when he was having some sort of rehearsal dinner for his wedding?
We sure did.
Not a rehearsal, or maybe just like they were getting it ready.
Just by odds, someone has been somewhere where they're getting ready for one of his weddings.
I remember that you and I were sitting at a table eating those gigantic, oversized kosher deli pickles.
Yeah, the deli pickles that they had.
And we had no idea. It was like all of a sudden, oh my God, there he is.
We might have casually asked, "What are they doing in there?" Oh, they're getting ready for the Larry King thing, and it was hysterical.
Hi.
Oh, it was so much fun.
All right, so now that we've set up our love for Larry King, we do have to hit a break, and when we come back, we will just go right to the motherlode.
The motherlode of the tapes from his radio show, and these are the greatest because he was on in the middle of the night, and because of that, he would fall asleep.
I think they are the greatest. We will hear, in no particular order, the Cooperstown, New York tape.
When he forgets what a caller's saying.
Where Larry farts.
Classic.
Where Larry, we have two very quick, short tapes of Larry falling asleep on the air. Then we have the motherlode, where Larry thinks he's in commercials and he's been on the air for almost 3 minutes talking behind the scenes with some schmuck who's on his show.
Because he's exhausted.
Fantastic.
They're the best.
Can't wait.
So,
they are the best. It's our tribute.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's make sure everyone comes back after the commercial.
Give them just a little taste.
Just let you hear Larry farting. Okay? Now you got to listen.
We can always play that one again.
You got to listen to this one real careful. Turn your radios up, everybody.
Larry King. Matzo ball soup at Duke's at the top of the aisle. Be good to see the Duker again next week.
The show's going to be funny.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, listen to it again.
Oh, Jesus.
It's great, isn't it?
That's the best one.
Larry King. Matzo ball soup at Duke's at the top of the aisle. Be good to see the Duker again next week.
I never tire of that. Ever.
And you got to know, we happen upon these tapes by somebody who works at CNN who, if the name was dropped,
yeah,
I mean, it would cause dinosaurs would start to
It would.
roam the earth again.
We are men of honor, though. We are men of honor.
Larry King was ratted out by this guy at CNN who would supply us with these tapes.
Right. Oh, absolute quality. And the fact, really, more than any other broadcaster that I'm ever aware of, he would fall sound asleep on his show.
Yeah, very
I mean,
hard
go
to do.
out. And you know, I had friends over there that would tell me about it, and it was just great to hear the tapes.
Here he is going to sleep.
You know, they're quite willing to kill off nature, you know, for a cheap buck, and then, you know, and then just point the finger at somebody else for why the job's disappeared. Hello?
Yep. I'm sorry. Don't want to rephrase that.
And now he's celebrating his 50th anniversary in broadcast.
Congratulations, Larry.
Larry King. Matzo ball suit the Dukes at the top of the aisle. Be good to see the Duker again next week.
Happy anniversary, Larry.
Okay. Get your tapes rolling when we come back.
Oh, man.
And we'll let it roll without stopping to comment.
God bless him.
Larry thinks he's in spots, and also the Cooperstown tapes. We'll be right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
The Don and Mike Show. No, Kelly Clarkson. WKFK.
This is the Don and Mike Show.
Hi, this is Larry King, here to tell you about my new book, Picking Up Chicks with the King. My special 225-page guide to meeting and dating the world's most lovely ladies. You'll find valuable information inside, like how to use the right pickup line, meeting gorgeous women at the right parties, making conversation in awkward situations, and Larry King's special 10-page guide to better lovemaking. How to pick up chicks with the King. Order today and receive a beautiful policewoman poster from the lovely Angie Dickinson.
Okay, this anniversary for Don and Mike, and after it's taped, give it to Andrea, and she'll phone and say she's got it, okay? Hi, it's Larry King in Washington. So proud of the fact that Don and Mike have reached their 8th anniversary. Pleasure and welcome you aboard. Happy new organization. Happy anniversary, guys. And you're both, I was going to say you're both terrific, but... Sacramento, California. Hello.
Larry King, I want to commend you on your choice of suspenders tonight.
It is black.
I know it. That's quality, though. This money that belongs to the Iraqi people, can they get that back from Saddam? And are we going to get Don and Mike on the Armed Forces radio over in Iraq?
Good question. That's a good question. Nick, I'm sorry, Nick. Christopher, can they get the money some way to send that money back to the people? He probably took it from them.
The Don and Mike Show.
Funny, that's funny. How's your friend Ann Coulter in the faggot word? What do you make of that? By the...
Like a life-altering herpetic sore. The Don and Mike Show.
All right, Larry King's 50th anniversary in broadcasting.
Congratulations, Larry.
Who says we don't care? This is the mother load of the Larry King tapes.
Rob's raising his hand. He doesn't care.
I say you don't care.
We care, Rob.
Care
Why else would we be playing these exclusive tapes from our Larry King archive?
Wonderful.
Of Larry falling asleep and losing his place in the show.
And why doesn't the press search harder when it involves pro-lifers? They certainly do when it's pro-choicers.
It's Larry King. We're back. We back? This Green Bay? Oh, next is Green Bay. I lost it there for a minute.
Okay, now here he is. After he's been on the air during the Olympics or the Turner Games or whatever.
He's been on the air for many, many nights.
30 days and 30 nights, and your boy's tired.
And I got one more question. I'm a student of print journalism, and I just wanted to know, what advice do you have for young people coming up into the field? Like, a lot of professors are telling us how hard it is to get into the field at first. I'd just like to know, since you're in the field, do you have any advice on that? For instance, experience, is that important?
Uh-huh. Sure.
Is that probably the most important element?
Well, it's way up there.
It's way up there. Anything else? Anything you did?
Pressure under fire.
Mm-hmm.
Done this before. I don't want it to be his first surgery.
What? Okay.
Surgery?
Applied himself well.
Mm-hmm.
These are things I'd have confidence in a young MD.
Okay.
I asked you about broadcast.
I'm talking about journalism field.
I'm lost. What do you mean?
The journalism, like, I'm a student of journalism at a college, and I was just wondering the most important aspect of getting into journalism, not the medical field. I think you're exhausted from 30 nights.
I am exhausted from 30 nights. No person, even those of us who are superhuman, those of us with Herculean appetites for the diverse and the bizarre, even those of us who have shown an aptitude to fight the good fight and stay the good long battle, even those of us can get tired. And your boy is tired after 30 consecutive nights. I have a half hour to go, and I'm going to do that half hour because I'm a pro. That's what pros do.
Look it up.
I'm a professional. Look it up in the book.
Okay.
That's what we do. We're pros. We're never rude. We don't cop out. We don't tell you that we're ill or that we're looking for the farmhouse in the middle of the desert or that we're parched. We don't tell you that maybe the check didn't come through this month, and where the hell does it go anyway if you're a guy who's left 16 forwarding addresses.
Okay.
So what do you do? What is the answer? Yeah, you're a little perturbed now. Kind of worried about the club.
The club?
Don't worry about the club. Worry about maybe Jackie might worry. Nah, don't worry. Okay, just cool it. Life is a breeze. Of course, some breezes, as you know, are 110 miles an hour and get promoted up the hurricanes. I just thought I'd pass that along. Speaking of pass it along, we're going to pass along now to the newsroom, the Mutual Newsroom, high atop the overlooking beautiful downtown studios of Washington, Virginia, Washington, D.C. The Mutual Newsroom will get us up to date on the news headlines, and we'll come back with a little more Open Phone America. We'll have our salute to my man, Duke Zeibert, by taking him to one of his favorite places, one of mine, too, the town of Cooperstown, New York. This is the Larry King Show in Washington, and we'll be right back.
Let me offer this. Whoa. I've never noticed it before, but you put it next to those other tapes, I think he's asleep during that first question.
Of course he is.
Talking in his sleep.
No, but literally asleep when he says, yeah,
Which
sure.
is why after we played that tape about 5,000 times on our show, this call happened.
Falls Church, Virginia. Hello.
Hi, Larry.
Same energy.
There's a couple guys here in Washington, Don and Mike, who play a tape of you getting asked about journalism by somebody, and you think he's talking about medical school. Do you remember that?
No.
Do you ever listen? Have you ever heard Don and Mike?
I never get to hear them. They were on the morning. They were on the afternoon. I never get to hear them. We took over their show one day. I went, in fact, the day before the heart attack, we went and took over their program one morning and totally destroyed them. But you could doctor tapes.
Yeah, and he's lying, of course, when he says, no. Do you remember that? No.
Yeah. And now the mother load, as we say, happy anniversary, Larry King.
Does not know that he's on the air.
Very important to note, when they rejoin, the announcer guy plays the music and says, now here's Larry. Roll it.
And now, live from Washington, D.C., here's Larry.
Our guest is Robert Daly. His newest book is A Faint Cold Fear. It is published by Little Brown. We'll be going to your calls at the bottom of the hour at 703-685-2177. Are you already working on the next one?
Well, I know pretty well what I want to do, and there's a long process to go through. I have to write an outline, and although I have a contract...
See, now Larry's done the intro.
He thinks he's in commercial now.
Diddle
right
with
now.
my outline, which they always do.
But he already heard the guy say, here's Larry, and he did the setup saying...
He's so tired he's lost track of time.
Well, back with our guest.
About another year here.
You'll hear the pause
And the end
now.
of the year gets very long.
After the guy gives the answer,
whatever you may have done, I mean,
Larry
you've written enough
doesn't
books
think he's
to know
on the
this.
air.
Until you write the end at the end of it, you got nothing. Even, you can't sell anything until you finish the last page.
Who's your agent?
Huh?
Who's your agent?
ICM, Esther Newberg.
I know Esther.
Lovely woman.
I use Sterling Lord.
Oh, you do? Sterling was my agent for years and years and years.
Yes.
I like him. He's not vigorous.
No.
But he has a kind of nice manner.
Yeah.
I think if I were a full-time writer, I don't think I'd use Stilling. I like someone more.
Yeah.
For me, it's fine, I get these.
What?
Oh, I just got a real nice advance to do a book on growing up in Brooklyn. Like Russell Baker did about Baltimore, right about just what the street was like in the neighborhood.
Well, you got 4 books already behind you.
Yeah. Yours on the bestseller list yet?
It's not yet. It's only been out 1 month, and the bestseller list is 2 weeks behind, as you know. But it's had wonderful sales in Europe. I'm really astonished.
Same cover?
I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. I don't like the cover. It's got 2 messages. Yeah, it's okay. It's got 2 messages on it, both of which are, sort of against the female reader.
This.
The pauses are the best. He doesn't know. Nobody's telling him either. Nobody's telling him. He's been on the air the whole time. 2.5 minutes.
Overnight radio.
This is on the air.
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Where do you
Well,
live?
I have an apartment in New York, but I really live mostly in Connecticut, in New Canaan.
East side.
West side, right opposite the Museum of Natural History.
Nice, I like those.
Yeah.
It's really growing that area there. Columbus.
Yeah. Lots of empty stores, and these landlords who jack up the rents and force people out that have been there for years. Now, in our times, in the recession, they're stuck with it. Good.
Yeah, I'm right.
You like that?
Silence. More silence. And a room of text looking at him, knowing he's on the air.
Yeah, not doing a thing.
What is Larry doing?
Are we back? We have never gone anywhere. Now, I thought we were on a break. Okay, so we've been sitting here all the time, talking and not talking. Does anybody signal me? Are we on a break? Did we take a break? No, we're back. Well, you never signal me back from a break. Are we on? Okay, thanks. Did anyone ever say, "Here's Larry"?
Yes.
Did you hear it, Robert?
No, I did not.
Robert didn't hear it, and I didn't hear it. I'm just talking to the crew. I realized we're on. I looked up. I saw the light. Neither of us ever heard a signal come back, so we have been sitting here. Welcome to the Larry King Show. Our guest is Robert Daly. We're going to pause for news headlines, a word from your local stations, and when we come back, we will take your phone calls. Our numbers are 703-685-2177, and this is semi-hysterical. Yeah, we are on. Thank you. Okay, all I'm telling you is, Mr. Daly and I were sitting here.
Mr. Daly.
Last I remember was breaking for commercial, and we never came back. We never came back. So if we came back, we thank you. And if you heard us talking, I don't know what we were talking about, Robert.
We're talking about agents and things like that.
Agents.
And
what
much interest.
Couldn't have been, if you heard, whatever you heard, we didn't curse.
We didn't curse.
And as always, when caught with his pants down,
Yeah,
it's
blame
always
others.
Dies dem and dos. We
Yeah.
didn't curse if you heard it.
Let's blame the other guy.
The other guy, I'm okay.
It's the other guy that did it.
Because you see, Larry is working at that time in a setup unlike we have. Yes. He's in a room with a microphone and the guy he's interviewing. Mm-hmm. There's a piece of glass, and then there's a guy in the next room where Buzz is, the engineer.
Running the control.
Who says, "You're on the air," and it starts off and goes, and now here's Larry.
Here's
now,
Larry, and he gets pointed at.
Now, as soon as Larry puts his legs up and starts doing the...
Where do you live?
At that point, the engineer, if he's on Larry King's side...
would wave violently and say, "Hey, you're on the air.
Yeah.
Look at the light. Look at the light."
Right.
Not in this case.
Instead, they ran tape on it.
They were running tape the whole time and had a big old laugh.
And just so you know...
Because Larry was loved by his peers.
Again, here's the beginning of that segment. You just heard the end
this is good.
with Larry saying, we never came back. Listen, here's the beginning of it.
And now, live from Washington, D.C., here's Larry.
Our guest is Robert Daly. His newest book is A Faint Cold Fear.
That's it.
It is published.
He knows he's on the air.
Right
He's
there.
back.
He knows.
To the bottom
And
of the
then he
hour,
forgets.
703-685.
Did you hear his Larry?
7
Larry heard here's Larry.
Right.
Well, I know pretty well what I want to do.
Okay, anyway, that's...
And when he gives that first answer, that's when Larry just drifts away.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
Larry's exhausted again.
Now, this poor schmuck He's giving his answer directly into the microphone.
Then he notices the change in the rhythm and assumes that they're not on the air. I mean, it's the guest. He's not obligated to do anything.
So we're talking about another year here. And the end of the year gets very...
Now you hear Larry going...
You
hear the chair.
As he leans back.
Until you write the end, at the end of it, you got nothing. Even, you can't sell anything until you finish
Here it comes.
the last page.
Here's your agent.
There it is. That's it. They're not on the air now.
Yay! Thank you for playing.
And he disses his own agent, which is a nice little detail in there. Which is a nice detail.
Who's your agent?
Who's your agent?
All right, well, happy anniversary, Larry.
Yeah.
Larry King. Matzo ball suit the Dukes at the top of the hour. It'll be good to see the Duker again next week.
The best.
All right. This would probably be a good time for a bowel movement.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Buzz.
Yes. Oh, boy.
Try to be half the journalist that man is.
I think I'm up to it.
When we come back.
Hi, everybody. This is the news.
All right, we'll get Buzz's take on the news when we come right back.
This is the Don and Mike Show.